Chapter 1. The Spark. Alex stepped off the bus after 10 years gone, snow swirling in the Minneapolis air. The city looked the same, but felt colder. Old friends greeted him, but the block had changed. The ABPSN, the African Black Power Sovereign Nation, had grown into a disciplined movement, with soldiers drilling and elders directing. And as Alex walked into the warehouse where the council sat, he heard the creed that shaped his life. Many are called, but only a few are chosen. Chapter 2. The Brotherhood. The early days were all survival, basketball hustles, dice games, and corner hustling. Alex, Ralph, Chunky Mo, Jeremy Mo, Brandon Mo, Jeff Mo, they were brothers forged in poverty. A BPSN gave that brotherhood a structure, a code. With General Dale and Mufti, Officer Swan, at the helm, discipline became the law. The soldiers trained not just with guns, but with books. They were taught history, strategy, and philosophy. The movement was bigger than the block. It was survival for the people. Chapter 3. Rena. Rena was a storm wrapped in silk. She wasn't just Alex's lover. She was his equal, his partner in vision. She rolled with him through meetings and missions, balancing fire with calm. Her presence reminded Alex that love and loyalty were as vital to the cause as bullets and money. But the streets test every bond, and in the end, nothing gold could stay. Chapter 4. The Discipline. ABPSN was militant. Every soldier had a role. Women led study circles, elders lectured on history. Young recruits drilled in alleys and warehouses. They believed they were building a nation within a nation. Yet the funding came from shadow trades, guns and drugs justified as a means to an end. It was a contradiction Alex could never fully shake. Uplift the community with one hand, poison it with the other. Chapter 5. Glitter and Gunfire. Success drew attention. The organization grew in power, respected and feared. But envy brewed. Rival sets wanted in. Cops circled, especially Swan's enemies in blue. Alex saw the duality. Power looked glamorous, but every dollar earned carried death in its shadow. The creed echoed in his mind. All that glitters isn't gold. Chapter 6. The Death of Mufti. Mufti was the shield of ABPSN, the wall against chaos. For years, he had been the one who took bullets, meant for others. The one who always stood at the front of the line when danger came. His presence made the soldiers feel invincible. If Mufti was there, then nothing could break them. But one winter afternoon, the streets proved otherwise. An ambush unfolded in broad daylight. Cars screeched, doors flew open, and gunfire erupted like thunder. 7 shots rang out, each one slamming into Mufti's body as he tried to shield the younger soldiers. He fell to the ground, his chest heaving, his blood painting the frozen pavement. Alex dropped to his knees beside him, pressing his hands against the wounds, shouting for help that never came fast enough. Mufti's eyes flickered, his voice rasping through the pain as he whispered his final words. Stay solid. The funeral was an ocean of silence and rage. Brothers and sisters in black filled the church, fists raised high, tears burning, but unspoken. Dale's face was stone, but his knuckles were white from clenching his hands. Alex felt his first deep fracture that day. If Mufti, the indestructible wall, could fall, then none of them were safe. Chapter 7. Memphis Trouble. Not long after Mufti's death, outsiders appeared. Santwan and the Memphis twins swaggered into the city with loud mouths, fast cars, and promises of new connections. They claimed to have ties that could expand ABPSN's reach, but Alex saw them for what they were: reckless fire. Their energy was dangerous, unpredictable. Where Dale preached discipline, the Memphis crew thrived on chaos. They brought heat to every corner, flaunting guns, spending money too openly, dragging attention to themselves. Alex tolerated them at first, believing they could be molded into soldiers. But their arrogance clashed with the code. They laughed at study circles, skipped drills, and disrespected the elders. Soon, their recklessness bled into the ranks, and the streets felt it. Enemies sensed weakness. Rivals began testing boundaries, while cops, hungry to crack the ABPSN, tightened their grip. Dale tried to rein them in, but it was like trying to put out a wildfire with bare hands. The Memphis crew had brought more than noise. They had brought war. Chapter 8. Blood and Betrayal. The war came fast. Enemies struck from all sides. Rival sets, emboldened by the Memphis chaos, and police eager to crush the movement. Raids shook their strongholds. Bullets pierced their nights, and paranoia seeped into every meeting. But the worst blow wasn't from outsiders. It came from within. A trusted brother, one who had trained and marched beside Alex for years, flipped. His betrayal cut deeper than any bullet. He gave up locations, names, routines. Raids became too precise to be coincidence, ambushes too sharp to be luck. The brother had traded loyalty for survival, or worse, for money. The empire began to crumble. What had glittered with promise now turned to ash in Alex's hands. Rena begged him to see the truth. "Alex, it's costing too much," she said, her eyes heavy with love and fear. "We're losing ourselves, not just the fight." But Alex was bound to the creed. To step away felt like betrayal to the fallen, to Mufti, to Dale, to the dream itself. The chosen few had to endure, even if the circle grew smaller every day. Chapter 9. The Downward Spiral. The war claimed its most personal victim on a night that would haunt Alex forever. The ambush was meant for him, a spray of bullets ripping through the street as he and Rena left a meeting. He heard her gasp before he saw her fall. Rena clutched her stomach, her blood soaking through silk as Alex caught her in his arms. Her breath was shallow, her eyes dimming, but she still reached for his face, whispering words he could barely hear. "Don't let it break you." But it did. He screamed into the night as the gunfire faded, his brothers pulling him away from her body. Something inside him cracked, something that no prison, no bullet, no betrayal had ever touched. Rena had been his anchor, his calm within chaos, his reason to believe in more than war. Without her, the world turned gray. From that night forward, Alex moved like a ghost. He completed missions, stood at meetings and led soldiers, but he was hollow. He drank until his nights blurred, stopped sleeping, spoke less and less. His eyes grew distant, staring past everyone. Dale noticed. Everyone noticed. The chosen one was fading. Chapter 10. All that glitters. On the surface, the empire still stood tall. Money flowed. Cars gleamed. Influence stretched across neighborhoods. To the outside, ABPSN was unshakable, a machine of power and respect. But Alex saw the rot beneath the shine. The new recruits came chasing glamour, not consciousness. They wanted gold chains and fast women, not study circles or revolution. The discipline that Dale and Mufti had fought for was slipping, replaced by vanity and bravado. Rivals circled like vultures, smelling weakness. The media painted them as villains, stripping away any pretense of their cause. The people whispered legends of ABPSN, but legends could not mask the truth Alex saw every night. All that glitters isn't gold. Every crown, he realized, is made of thorns. The creed weighed heavier than ever. Chosen, crowned, but at what cost? Chapter 11. The Last Night. Alone in his apartment, Alex sat surrounded by ghosts. The faces of the fallen stared back at him from photographs scattered across his table. Mufti, Rina, brothers now locked away. His hand trembled as he poured another drink, the silence of the room pressing in on him. The creed rang in his ears like a curse he couldn't escape. Many are called, but only a few are chosen. On the table sat a gun, gleaming cold beneath the dim light. He picked it up slowly, turning it in his hands. He thought about Dale, about the people, about the dream they had built. He thought about the brothers who still believed, about the younger soldiers who looked to him for guidance. But the weight was unbearable. His body carried scars, his heart carried graves, and his soul carried too many ghosts. Tears blurred his vision as he raised the pistol to his temple. For one moment, he whispered the creed aloud, his voice breaking. Then the shot rang out. Epilogue. Legacy of the Chosen. They buried Alex in silence. No news cameras, no speeches, no grand send-off. Only the chosen few remained, dressed in black, fists raised high against the gray sky. Dale stood before the grave, his voice low but steady. He was chosen. He carried the crown, even when it crushed him. Remember this creed and live it. All that glitters isn't gold. Many are called, but only a few are chosen. The struggle did not die with Alex. The soldiers kept drilling. The elders kept teaching. The whispers of the creed carried through the streets, just as Alex's name did. In the hearts of the people, he was not gone. He was the chosen one, forever bound to the struggle, forever remembered in the silence of raised fists.